Hello, I'm Ian, Somerset News Network, and this is worrying. Ofcom are going to rule over social media, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, etc. What does this mean for YouTubers like us? What's going to happen? Well, Ofcom was going to monitor and police the internet for sexual abuse, pornography and child abuse. No problems with that at all. Let them carry on. But I don't think it should be done by Ofcom. I think that should be done by the police because it's a criminal matter. Ofcom, you're now going to be able to complain to Ofcom that something offends you. If what you say is doing harm, causing somebody stress. Now, what happened to me last year is how this would work. I made a single line comment on Facebook. A lady wrote underneath, "See what it's like, I'm going to the police." Then I get a phone call from local plod. "Ian, we've got to interview you. We've had a complaint about your Facebook post." I said, "Which one? Show me which one it is and I will explain." "You'll have to come in for an interview." After a few emails, the PC said, "I am not going to interview by email." And I thought, well, what's the problem? Let me have a copy and see what I've done. So anyway, I had to go into the police station. "If you don't come into the police station, we're going to arrest you." Now, meanwhile, I got hold of a private detective to check all this out. A private detective that does internet searches. And what we found out was it may have been one guy or a group of people involved with LGBTQ. There was the lady's name was a sock puppet. It was a false name by this one guy. They complained to the police, gave them a printout, but they didn't put her comment on there. The post was removed off the Facebook page within the first week. So I stuck to my guns. I said what I said was not defamatory, it wasn't hateful, and if somebody's offended, I can't help that. And I stuck to my guns, and I kept on about free speech and debate under the Bill of Rights. I never got an answer to that. I just think they forgot about it, pushed it aside. Now, Ofcom can now rule on that. Not the police do an investigation under the hate crime laws or malicious communications. This will be Ofcom. And then if the complaint is upheld, they can then fine you. Now, the press release said that Ofcom can fine you up to 10% of your income. Well, if you're not making an income on social media, how can they charge you 10%? You know, if you're a YouTuber and you've got the ad money coming in, which is sometimes not a lot, how can they charge you if you haven't got it? So what are they going to do? Charge you 50 quid, 100 quid? Now, if it's the press and somebody complains, the press can do a retraction, and at the same size and in the same place the allegations were made. Now, is that going to happen to Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and X? I don't know. But if I say something on here that somebody doesn't like, they could report me to Ofcom now. Ofcom investigates, oh, that's causing distress, harm and distress, or it's malicious communications. And fine you or ban you off the website. Let's look at what rights we do have, and then let's look at Ofcom. We have the right of free speech and debate that I keep going on about. Under Article 9 of the Bill of Rights, it says, freedom of speech and debate or proceedings in Parliament cannot be questioned in any court or place out of Parliament. And that would have been the Law Lords. The Law Lords are now the High Court. So if it's a question of free speech, it has to be dealt with by the High Court. And if you go to the High Court, you've got to have a barrister, which is £20,000 to start with. So it's going to cost you money. So most people are going to back down and say, sorry, didn't mean to say it, and do a retraction. That's if they accept it. So it's the process that's going to be the punishment, not necessarily the fine, if you're fined at all. But if you have got free speech, and it can only be fined in the High Court, and they've got costs as well, mind, not only you. And it might be a real trivial matter. So then we come down to them fining you. So they fine you, I say 100 quid, 200 quid, whatever. Now, in the Bill of Rights, which I keep on about, I found another bit. Grants and promises of fines before conviction are illegal and void. So somebody can't issue a fine without being convicted of that crime first. So Ofcom are going to issue a fine, and that would be illegal. Think about that. It's against our Constitution. You've got the right of free speech, and you've got the right not to be fined or any forfeiture before you're convicted.